Hello, Jez from Nigezza Creates, and this is my desk. That was my toast that I just ate my breakfast off. Yeah, so this is. Let me see if I can move you a little bit more to see a bit more of my desk. So this is the section that I normally film in, and then this section over there, that's usually where I've got the piles of stuff all piled up. Now I have yesterday finished my third collaboration video for the Rach and Bella Crafts Christmas Crafters Christmas Hop, and I've got to now start thinking about the Tracy Fox daily December daily Advent hop collaboration. I'm doing the freebie one and the other one. So I need to get rid of months and months. I have already done some of the clearing up, but then I thought, well, whilst I'm clearing up, because I've been doing a little bit of a series of sorting out my craft room, I thought maybe I should bring you along. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that ends up with this sort of chaos. I was clearing it up yesterday and I was thinking, why am I keeping that? Please tell me, why am I keeping that? I have a bit of a bin here, and so I'm gonna bin. So I watched, I can't remember her name now, who helps sort things out, you know, has a no mess clear up, so you deal with every piece of paper and that you pick up there and then. I had started yesterday making piles, and she said you don't make piles because then you just end up with piles at the end of it. So I want this to be clear so I can start afresh. So the first thing you do is look for the obvious trash, as they say in America, rubbish as we say here in the UK. So I am going to be a little bit more ruthless and decide that some of these things are in fact rubbish, trash. Get rid of them straight away. Be very brave. That's my little baggie there of Tim Holtz paper. So even those little strips I've been keeping. And do you know what? I'm still going to keep them, actually. There we go. I'm rubbish, aren't I? Utterly rubbish at doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up and voice over, I think, so that I can be playing some collaboration videos. Dasher Dave has released his today, so I want to watch that. And yeah, so I will be filming this in real time, but then I'll speed it up and do a voiceover. All right then. So I'm just going through picking out all the rubbish first, or the trash, and that's kind of like the first thing to do. That's it's something that a declutterer that I followed watched sort of did. So yeah, and then I'm just moving some things off the desk that don't belong on my desk, and then picking up things that I know where I want to put them. These were in previous piles that I'd made, but now I'm just going through and I'm putting them away where they belong. So, you know, putting like for like things together. So there was like book pages and ephemera and stuff, and then I put away all the sort of plain things. So that's me gone, putting it away. And now I'm picking up the words and then just collecting other things. So yeah, so this is just, I don't know how useful this is to watch, but yeah, just it just has to be done. You just have to go through that pile that I'm working through. It's months old, months and months and months. Like it goes back to the summer retreat, some of the stuff there that I went on, because that is stuff I did in the workshops at the summer retreat. That was June. It is now November, the end of November. And yeah, so don't know what I'm doing there. Cutting something around. I think I was just cutting all the scrappy bits around, because I find that if you're putting things in a scrap box that if there's like weird edges, they don't sit right. Those were some soap boxes, some boxes that had soap in them, and they just had really nice like vintage images. So I was just getting rid of the rest of the box. I'm only going to use the vintage image. So there's some bulldog clips that I collect some scraps on. And yeah, it is just endless. And I do actually uncover things that it was like, oh, I didn't even know that I'd lost those things. Never mind that they were on my desk. I think I uncovered, yeah, there's a notebook there I didn't know I had. I think that was my Red Cross qualification. That would have been donkey's years old. I think that goes back to my nursing days. So yeah, all sorts under there. I think my Red Cross nursing thing was on there because I was collecting it for the nursing journal that I'm going to make, which hopefully I'll get done next year. Yeah, so I could have literally scooched all that into a bin, the trash. It could have all been chucked away, and it would have been much, much quicker than me trying to salvage little bits of things that I could use in future projects, because it's not like I'm short of stuff, but you know, we do it, don't we? We go through and we go, oh, I can't throw away that bit, it's too nice. I wish I was a little bit more able to just go, nah, chuck it in the bin. But, you know, I didn't. I insisted on going through all of this and, yeah, sorting out the rubbish from what I intend to keep. And I do wish I could do it as quick as this video is showing me work. That would be marvellous, wouldn't it? Because I'd be finished by now, and I'm not. So more words, and yeah, that is yeah. I'm picking out there things that I do intend to use, and then they'll go in my drawer of tea-dyed paper scraps. I think that's probably where they're going. Yeah, I'm disappearing, so I figured that must be where I'm going. That's me with my woolly hat, because it's chilly. Anybody else wear a woolly hat indoors in this weather? Am I alone? I'm sure not. So, yeah. And I have to say that during this process, when I've walked back in my room and seen it clear, it has filled me with immense joy. And I do wish I could just keep it like that, but you know, I don't know. I wonder how long it is going to stay tidy after I've tidied it, because it doesn't seem to take long before it just comes back into being this utter mess. But we'll see. Maybe new year, new me, I'll get it sorted. Right, I only noticed that it had stopped recording, so I've done a little bit of extra that you can't see, mainly just removing all the rubbish. I've emptied this, filled a bit more of it up. So yeah, so I've had to change phones, gone back to an older phone. So I think you might be seeing a little bit more of my desk. I'm not really sure. Can't get the mirroring to work with this older phone. So anyway, gonna crack on. Right, so here I am, just more of the same. We're getting now to, you know, quite small bits. Maybe more bits that I'm likely to want to keep. I think I've got rid of most of the rubbish that was on the desk. So I'm just putting together there sort of piles of, I've got butterflies, I've got like tabs, and I'm picking out sort of useful things, little bits of ephemera, tags that I've got the bases for, and other bits of ephemera. So I'm sort of putting them all together because I've got a little container that I think I might be able to put them in, and that might be useful to have them around so that they're easy if I'm going to make clusters and what have you. Those were kind of what I was thinking in my process of doing that. Would I've is this wasting my time? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? You know, do other people keep all these little things? I mean, those butterflies actually are, I printed them out and I took the trouble to fussy cut them. Well, I didn't. I think they were all done on me. Yeah, scan and cut, if I'm honest. And those are the little containers that I thought they would work. They fit into a little CD rack I've got, which is above my desk. Yeah, I thought they'd be useful to hand. So if I was making clusters, I can just pull it down onto my desk, and yeah, that's me fiddling with getting it on there. I bought the little drawer thing at the Rachel Brother Crafts retreat. Actually, she was getting rid. So there we are. I'm putting things away in little drawers and little containers, and then things in my scrap drawer, and then we're just left with the last little bits. So I mean, there's still things to organise around, but I think once the desk is clear, we can then think about where to put actual things on my desk that I'm actually wanting to use. That's me reaching above, putting things away in different places. And you can see, look, things are getting put away. They aren't just... oh, and there's me organising that container. Because these are the punches that I've reached for quite often. So I thought, oh, well, let's have them sort of neatly put somewhere. The other container that I've sort of pulled in, I'm picking out of there things that I might use, because I want to put the plastic tub with the punches in the place where that black thing has just come from. So I need to find homes for everything that's in that, so that I can remove that thing from my desk and put it off my desk, because the things in it don't have to be, I'd like them in reach, but they don't have to be actually physically on my desk. That was my thoughts. So although I do change my mind quite often in this process of deciding where things are going, what am I, going to do with things. So there is a lot of to-ing and fro-ing in this. And I think sometimes you've just got to live with your decisions for a bit to find out if that is actually a good decision. I think I was just making a label there for something. Yeah, I decided I've got a little small drawer set, so I think that's like lots of little bits and bobs. Labels, that's what it is. I was trying to get the label off that case that already had them in, and I've like changed my place for them. I did actually, in the process of tidying up yesterday, stand on that stamp case, so I then broke it, so it's gone in the bin now. But that's what happens when you leave things on the floor. And sometimes I'm quite happy to have those casualties. It's something less, isn't it, that I've got to find space for. It might have been useful storage, but it's gone now. So there we go. I sometimes do that when I'm moving house. Not that I've moved house in 23 years, but some things, some china or glass or whatever, I'll put them in a box without wrapping them in newspaper, and it's like if they chip and break, then I can chuck them away. It's something less for me to keep, and it's kind of, I'll leave it up to fate to decide whether or not I'm going to keep it. That's my little carpet sweeper thing that I bought, and I realised it's not actually very good. And so yesterday, when I was doing some sorting out, it's gone on the pile to go back to the charity shop that I got it from, because it ain't any good. It is more about how it looks. It looked vintage, but do I really want to give space in my craft room for something that doesn't work but looks vintage? It seems a bit daft to me. So yeah, that's what I decided. I decided that I would just, yeah. Although, I haven't left the house yet, it can be rescued from the charity shop pile. So yes, that's the last bits of rubbish. So now I want to do a little bit of cleaning. So I get in, so that's a bit of rubbing alcohol. and so I'm just cleaning my desk with that because there's lots of like glue residue and that on it and some inks and things, so I find that that really helps with getting everything up, and it helps on my board there with all the gluiness that's on it. And yeah, and it is so nice to get everything sort of clean, I think. So I'm doing a lot of sort of clearing up off camera there, that down the sides, giving those a little bit of a wipe. You will see that in a second because I do pan out a bit so that you can sort of get a sense of how well I've done. Right, there we are. I think I'm done. Yeah, I am gonna follow this up with sort of organise. I've tried to sort of organise a bit. There is a mess there to the left. Can you see that? I need to rethink my pots, everything that's to hand, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to avoid piling over here. Normally this space here just gets piled up, and that's when I get in a right sort of tizzy mess. This is well and truly not straight. There we go. So yeah, I need to I got great big space there. I need to sort that out really. Well, I don't need to sort it out. It is a space there. I like it. I might bring myself more to the centre here for filming and move my camera over a bit. That might work better for me. And then I've got a bit more space around me and not pile things on here. I've got a little trolley with some tiered basket next to me. Maybe that's where I need to put what I normally pile there. But yeah, liking that. It won't stay like this for very long, will it? Well, it might if I get organised. So yeah, so I'm going to bring you back in a minute to do that. I'm going to go out for a walk for the moment. The sun's come out and I think the snow's melted, so it might be safe underfoot now, or it might be treacherous. Who knows? We'll find out when I go out. Okay. So I've come back and it was so nice to walk in to a clear desk. So now I want to start making the best use of this space. So the things that I've got there around my desk, I want to make sure that they are the things that should be there, things that I'm always reaching for, and I know that they're not. If we move in, so there's my iPad. I watch that when I'm crafting. It's what I use as well to mirror my phone so that I know I'm in frame. And behind it is Stampin' Up! Ink pads. Now I don't use half of them. I use a few. So really, why are they there? I mean, partly why they're there is because not really anywhere else to put them, particularly. However, there are things elsewhere in my room that might be better there, in which case they could swap, is a thought. I've got all those alcohol marker pens there. I don't use them very often, so why are they there? Good question. I have back there a load of punches. I do use punches. I maybe could fiddle with them a bit because I don't necessarily use all of those punches all of the time, so you know, I can think about that. The things there I do use a lot, so they need to stay there. I sorted that little pot out, so they need to be there. I have got my die cutting machine, that could be there. That's a new addition, those drawers. Going to utilise those a little bit better. I've put things in there, but I think I haven't labelled because I think what I've put in there I need to reprioritize, and there's punches I use a lot, so which don't fit on the racks that are there. I've got these shelves here, which, yeah, I could possibly do better with that. And then I've got things on top of the shelves. I could probably do something better with that. They're right in front of a window as well, so I don't have any light coming in, but that's kind of okay. I haven't got a problem with that. And then yeah, we've got a bit of a mess there in terms of that's my stand, what I film on, and I hang things from it, as you can see. There's punches on the base because it actually needs a weight on the base, because otherwise it would topple over. There's my little sign Ed had made for me. And then I've got that like CD shelf there, quite useful. I'm not utilising it very well because look, all sorts of stuff in front of it, so it makes it hard to actually use. That's me op light. And then I've got all of this here, which I use a lot of, but I don't know if that's the best way of, I mean, that's just a blooming mess. So yeah, these are the areas that I need to tackle, and I think there are things elsewhere in my room that would be better off here. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking. Also, I've got this on my desk. It's a nice wood grain tablecloth, and I've got a new thing for putting on there, but I'm not tackling that at the moment because that'll take quite a lot. So what I want to do is move my camera stand so that it's over one, so that when I'm filming here. I think that would be better. That is my thoughts. So I'm going to do a little bit of shoving around. Right, so I'm just sorting out that pot. You know, it's amazing how a pot designed for organising and having little holes for things to go in can just disintegrate into utter chaos. And who needs that many little glue pots? I mean, really, half of them don't work very well. Some of the glues in them I don't use anymore. So I don't know why I don't just bin them. One of them's got alcohol in it, and I tell you, I have mistook that more than once for glue, and ended up squeezing alcohol all over a project instead of glue. But there we go. That's what we do, don't we? So I'm taking out things that don't need to be in the pot. Yeah, we'll put them away somewhere. I am now thinking, oh yeah, one of them drawers. So that's my micro pour. I use that quite a bit, so I am going to have to label that drawer micro pour because I'll never remember it's in there. So here I am now. I've moved my camera so you can see me sort of moving some things there out of the way. Most of those things that were piled behind my iPad are to go into Edge Journal. I haven't been able to face revisiting that at the moment. I took it to his funeral, to the wake, and it was on a table so people could write their messages, and lots of people did. And then I scooched it all into a bag for life to bring home, and it's all still in there. That was March. I just I cannot just look at it yet. I really can't. My heart can't go there, but it will. So yeah. So here I am fiddling, and I have to say I fiddle quite a bit here, and I and ah, and I think you'll see from the great reveal that it ends up nothing like what you're seeing now. But yeah, that is the nature of things. So I thought, yeah, I'd put it up there too. It does just fit. It was annoying. That's all I can say. So this is my big reveal. So I have been working very hard. I've done a lot of changes whilst I've been doing it. Really hard to film, so I didn't, because of the angle and things. But I've moved my filming section to be a little bit more central, so I had to move my camera over. And so I changed this area. So I've got more sort of storage in there. There's only a couple of things in those drawers because at the moment I don't know what I want to put in there. So let's get a little bit closer. I am holding my camera, so hopefully it will be okay. So I've got my mat there set up. So I've got space all around. Let's see how long it takes before that gets filled with, my usual gubbins. But at the moment, yeah, let's see. I've not filmed yet in this position. But yeah, that's what I've done. So directly in front of me, I have now got just the inks that I tend to use the most of the Stampin' Up! Colours. I've got that little bit there that was always there. Got a few little bits and bobs I use often. A big reel of wax thread there. I only put it there because actually I didn't know where else to put it and I forgot to put it there. But anyway, there's my microphones. I never use those. And that's where I put my iPad. It's different to where you probably saw me setting it up. But I didn't like it. So I chose, these are, I think these are from IKEA. I inherited, oh, you're going to fall. I inherited them from my sister-in-law. And they got drawers. So at the moment they've got eyelets. I'm always using eyelets, and they're in an awkward place, so I'm putting them there. Then there's a drawer in the corner, absolutely nothing in there for now. So I've put these two plastic trays together. You saw me sorting them out. We'll see how that goes on, as to whether or not I want to change it or not. And then lots of little pots and bits and bobs. Now I am not sure if that's going to stay like that, because actually I've got another container that I think might be nicer there, but we're gonna work with that. I literally did nothing with those pots. I'm just gonna sort of decide. That's what I'm gonna do. I think I need to just work with what I've done. So now I've cleared off some of this, so that the things on this shelf here are easier to get to. At the moment, what's in those pots, I'm not sure are going to stay. But as I say, I've got to work with them. So I've got these drawers. What have I put in there? Oh, that's my my journal for my collaboration projects. That's just some paper that I bought recently, and these two are empty. I put my alcohol markers there, and I've got that little antique stand there. This is my stand for my camera, and it's weighted down by this on one side and then all these punches on the other. I don't use those very often. And then that little house shelf thing behind, there's things on there I don't generally use, so that's okay that I can't get them. I've moved Ed there. I've got my Alexa and my label maker there, and that's a top teacher mug. Bought that when I was a teacher. I like it up there to remind me that I was a top teacher. And then these shelves here, sorry if you got dizzy there. So I've got my little Swizzler thing. This is a spice rack, and so it's got all sorts of bibs and bobs. I like it that I can see what's in there, and I just spin and get what I want. Those were from one of our cheapy shops, can't remember which one. They're about £1 each, those. So up here, those are all different books with like plain paper. So some of them are vintage, some are quite new. And when I say quite new, they might be from the 90s. yeah, so if I want to add pages to my journal that are plain that I can write on, that's where I go. These are like my boards for my embossing folder, and just general rubbish. Nearly said something wooed then, Jez. Wooed. Just stick those in there. These holes are for re-inker bottles, but at work, because of the shape of that, I can do that, and then they just balance. Yeah. So yeah, I've got here this tiered thing. I got that from Rach, as in Rach Bella Crafts, and I thought, well, I always pile up rubbish on my desk. My water bottle, got to keep hydrated. So I've got holes there, so maybe instead of piling up the rubbish here, I'll scrunch them in there, and then they'll live there for until they die, probably, or until I decide, oh, I need to change them. Anyway, my coffee cup and my water bottle. That's my bin, made by my lovely friend Janice from Jazzle Dazzle Crafts. She makes all these wonderful, she makes handbags and all sorts, and I like that as a bin on my desk. My favourite colour. There's my usual boards and things. It's in a little letter rack so they don't fall over. So we've got my tiny little trimmer. That's me stamp positioner tool. That's me cleaning my stamp. That's a stamp mat, little mini scoring boards, another stamp cleaner there. And then here is punches that, so all my circle punches. Oh, love my circle punches. And then there's stamp punches, tag topper punches, label punches, and then there's my non-stamping up punches there, although those two are, to be fair. My bookbinding drawer, some tape. I bought this ages ago, and I thought, yeah, I'll put my post-it notes, although I don't know where the rest of them are. Oh, there they are. I'm always looking out for post-it notes, can never find them, and so I thought, oh, they're there now. It's got a pretty home, I might remember, and this lovely little drawer set with sunflowers on. Yeah, I just thought, oh, that sort of fits in that nice little corner there, and then just somewhere for me glue. And then these things were on my desk, but I moved them off. So that's a drawer there for ribbons. That one's got vintage envelopes. I might change what's in them, but at the moment that's there. That's me switch. And that can go there. And we've got air the other side. So I just thought that was a good place for that, and I can fit that load of gubbins on there, all sorts of bits and bobs on there that I really didn't know what to do with. And then hiding behind there, that's another rack for punches, but it also works well as something for putting rubbish. And then that's a drawer full of stuff for my die cutting machine as well. So that's the way my desk is going to be for now. Don't even go there. But yeah, so we'll see how it works. It may well change, but I don't think I've ever had that much space to eventually clutter up, make full of rubbish. I mean, let's be realistic. But yeah, I've never had that much space, and I'm working on the fact that there is places for everything to be put away to around it. So maybe it will be all right. We'll see. I'm going to craft later. So I might show you the craft math. That might be a good thing to tag on the end, mightn't it? To see how well it worked. Okay. If I don't do that, then thanks for watching. Hope it was useful. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.